Sometimes this can give you a gut reaction of like, oh, I don't want to do what everyone else is doing. But if you notice that quite a few people are doing this strategy and that it seems to be working well for them, that's usually a good place to start because it lets you get those first runs on the board, lets you start to see for yourself what does and doesn't work. And then within that framework, you can start to experiment and start to add your own twist on it. I was in Instagram jail. The algorithm freaking hated me. I even tried starting a whole new account and nothing would budge. But you know what? Once I figured this one thing out in 1 week, in fact, with one post, I went from complete dead account to an account that is printing money. And today I'm going to show you how to make that change too. Hey everybody, it is Kate here from Hello Funnels and welcome back to the Doing It Online podcast. Now today we're talking about probably one of my least favorite topics, and that is social media. And the reason is one of my least favorite topics is because for years I found social media to be a total waste of time. It's been in the have to do it kind of bucket, but we could really see no clear ROI. We were being seen by zero new people. And the people we were being seen by, the people who already followed us, that number was getting smaller and smaller and smaller. Our engagement was non-existent. Like we've got an account that's been sitting at about 24,500 followers, and we've been on that same follower number for years. And obviously people come in, people drop off, but we've just been staying on that exact same number. But the engagement has been getting less and less with every single algorithm update. And I was so frustrated. I'm like, what is the point? We're still spending hours and hours every week feeding the social media beast, and the return is getting less and less. So start of last year, I had a bit of a, like, we're going to give this one last shot kind of moment. It wasn't the one last shot, by the way. I did give it one more shot after that, but I was like, okay, well, everyone's saying you need to create a new account and new accounts are going to get more traction. And we tried that. We did definitely see some good promise, but not enough. Like we still, fundamentally, something was still wrong with the way that we were doing things. And so by about September, October last year, I decided I'm having my next last shot. I think I'll have last shots until I die. I was like, all right, we're going to try to do something very different. We're going to try and mix it all up. And you know what? With just like one post, I just had this kind of feeling. I'm like, I just want to try to do this. And I did this one post and it was bananas. There's a massive spike in engagement. And then ever since then, using that same posting strategy, which I'm going to talk to you about today, our engagement has gone through the roof, like pretty much. I mean, obviously not every post is a winner, guys, and it never will be. Some get hundreds of comments and likes and others get like 30 or 40, but that used to be our max and now it's our low. So that's what I'm talking about. Like that's the big shift. And the other thing, which is amazing, is we're now getting about a 50-50 of our reach being people who aren't actually following the account and people who are. And that is a massive shift because before, social media, on the points of social media, is to try and get in front of new audiences, right? Not just to be showing stuff to the people who are already following you, already on your list, already on your podcast. I mean, I obviously love you guys, but social media is supposed to be helping you to reach more people, and it just wasn't. And now we are, and that is really exciting. Still a long way to go, still a few things we're figuring out, but just making this one shift, like seriously with one post, we changed everything. And then we've just kind of repeated that formula going forward, and it's still working like 3 months later. So I want to break that down for you today. The things that really changed and shifted with that post and how you can now take it and implement it into your business as well. Okay, guys, so there was 3 key things which really shifted with that post that changed it all. The very first thing was I didn't have the right mindset. And, I think it was fair enough to have a bit of a negative mindset about social media, but because I couldn't see the ROI, because the stuff we were doing wasn't giving us results, it went lower and lower and lower down on my priority list, which meant that the time I was putting into it, the brain space, the fresh ideas, like none of that was going to social. It was very much an afterthought. It was like, we've got to do this thing too. And I think that energy showed. So it was a really big difference where I now actually prioritize it. And it's now, because I'm one of those people who likes to structure out their week and have blocks of time when I know that like this is when I'm going to have the most creativity, and I put my most important tasks in those blocks of time. And I now have put the social media content into one of those blocks rather than it being into that, oh, let's just squeeze that in after some meetings when I can't really be bothered doing anything else blocks. So that was really huge. But you can't just flip that, right? Like you can't just say when all evidence is showing you something the opposite that, oh, I'm going to start treating this like it's important. For me, it was the fact that the change happened, that we did that one post that made us a bunch of sales really quickly, that made me be able to actually believe this is now something that's worthwhile. And because I now know that for each post I do, and again, it's on a scale depending on how well the post goes, but because I now know when I follow our formula and I do the right kind of post that we're going to make revenue from it, it is now a money-making activity or a revenue-generating activity, and those are always going to be top priority. Like that just feels like something that's more important versus something that it's like, we're just making our feed look pretty, we're just creating this content that 3 people are going to see. Now it's like, well, first of all, lots of people are seeing it. Our reach has gone so much higher, but also it is now directly linked to sales. So that mindset shift was really important. But, as I said, I had to sort of prove it to myself first. So the next 2 steps, which is how we did it, how we set it up, that is what gave me the proof, and the mindset shift just kind of happened on its own. So number 2 was I switched the types of offers that I was promoting. So I really sat down. I'm a big believer of doing this no matter when you're listening to this, what type of strategy you're looking at. I'm a big believer in letting the market do the market research for you. So if you sit down and you're like, all right, I want to figure whatever this thing is out, the first place I would start, the first strategy I would use is always what seems to be popular right now. And I know that sometimes this can give you a gut reaction of like, oh, I don't want to do what everyone else is doing. But you know what? There is a reason everyone else is doing it, and that's probably because it works. Now, we can't always know that if something works or doesn't work. So usually if you see something that's new and shiny and only one person is doing it, you might be like, oh, hang on, that's a bit cool. I might want to try that myself. Those ones I would pump the brakes on. I would keep an eye on because, again, they could be testing something. We don't know if it's effective. But if you notice that quite a few people are doing this strategy and that they seem to, from all the other evidence of what you're watching them do, it seems to be working well for them, that's usually a good place to start because it lets you get those first runs on the board, lets you start to see for yourself what does and doesn't work. And then within that framework, you can start to experiment and start to add your own twist on it. This is how I do everything, any strategy, whether it's email, funnels, and yes, social. So I decided to apply that same kind of lens to our social. I went and looked at what is working, what is clearly working for other people. And yeah, there was a bunch of let's do this goofy thing to our husband and, get a bunch of views. I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty sure there's people watching that and not my ideal client. I was like, what is working for the people who are attracting more customers? Because that's what I'm interested in. I don't care about going viral. I don't want a million, teenagers watching my video who've got, very little chance or interest in what it is that I'm actually helping people with. So I went and had a look at, what were people within my niche who were clearly killing it? What were they doing? What was being repeated? Because anything that's being repeated, obviously, they have deemed it to work. And I noticed that there was a couple of things. So the first thing was the types of products that were being promoted. I wasn't seeing a whole lot of repetition going on of people talking about their bigger, higher ticket items. There's a different strategy. I'm not saying that you can't and that we won't be promoting our main signature product using social media, but it wasn't what people were leading with. It didn't seem like any post where someone was sharing their signature course or their coaching program, they usually got very, very low engagement, shares, likes, comments, and that was really not what I was looking for. I was like, what is a way that people are promoting their products and still getting crazy results and people are obviously loving how they are promoting that. And I noticed that there was a certain type of product that was working really well. And those types of products were the types of product, when you think about it, that just made sense for this platform. They were bite-sized products because everything on social media is bite-sized. It's snackable. It's short. It's specific. There's nothing that needs a whole lot of explaining. You've got someone's attention for 15 seconds. If that, they may have clicked away in the first 2 or 3. So it makes sense that whatever it is you were talking about needs to also be bite-sized, needs to also be a mini commitment, a small specific thing. So we made that twist. We went and looked at our products and, as I said, been doing this for a long time now, guys. I had a lot of things in the archive and I pulled out a couple of products that were the most short, specific, timely, and that's what we started creating our content around. Things that were related to those really small, snackable offers. And that was a really, really big difference. The third thing that we did, and this was important because we tried, again, in the past, I have promoted different things before using Instagram, things of all different price points, and even, had a few things set up with ManyChat in the past as well, where you might send people a link to an opt-in or things like that. And it was still not enough. Like you got a little bit of traction, a little bit here and there, but nothing like the flood of sales that we've seen since we added in this third piece. And the third piece is we started to stack the funnels. So I would call what happens in ManyChat, that automation there, I would call that your first funnel. Now, we actually then stack a second funnel inside ManyChat, and then we stack a third funnel inside our email system. All of these super easy to set up. I would say for each individual product, the entire end-to-end, like the 2 funnels in ManyChat and then the 1 in email, probably took an afternoon. If we had to create a sales page, if we already had a sales page, it probably took like 45 minutes tops, like really easy. Like we've got ChatGPT prompts and stuff that we give all our clients. If you are in our eCourse Empire program or our Insta ATM program, like you've got access to all this, guys. You can get it done so fast. If you haven't already, I urge you to. It is such a game changer. So that was the first 3 things. Change the mindset. And I said, the mindset kind of changed itself when we realized how much money we were able to make. Switch the types of offers. So switch from things that were big, heavy, needed a lot of explaining to things that were short, specific, and snackable. And then 3, we stacked our funnels. So we actually created 3 funnels that went behind our pieces of content. So the last thing, the thing that kind of kicked it all off, the thing that like none of this would, do anything if it wasn't for, was change the types of posts that we were creating. So we figured out, as I said, through that process of researching and studying and seeing what works, and also a little bit of trial and error. But I will say the very first one we did was like went bananas and was probably like the best post we've ever done. But you identified what was working. And I noticed again that there was a bit of a trend, that there were 3 types of content that people were doing over and over again. And these 3 types were, as I said, inside our Insta ATM program, we go through all of this. We break down each of the types. We give you a bunch of examples, and we show you how to like start to do them. So you can literally go and do one of these posts like now if you wanted to. The link is below if you want to go check it out. But the 3 types of posts was number 1, was the very specific results post. So this is something that helps people to see that whatever your big promise is, that it's actually possible. So rather than saying, I'm going to help you make $1 million, it's like this one client made $645 yesterday. It's that kind of thing. It's making it small. It's making it relatable. And there's a few different ways you can do that because obviously you can't just keep doing the same thing over and over. It gets boring. The second one is the show inside. And I love this because it's so easy and you don't have to put your face on anything. It doesn't have to look good or shiny or pretty. No skills involved. You could literally do this one in 30 seconds. It only needs the shortest caption as well, which again is my favorite because I always get stuck on the captions. And this is just creating something that is going to give your followers some serious FOMO and make them be like, oh, what's that? Oh, I missed that. Oh, show me again. And that just gives them a reason to jump in to take action, whatever your posts are. The last one is solving a really big problem simply. So we all know that whatever your big promise is, that there's multiple steps to get there. But you look at that and can you bring that down to really like, what's like 2 actions they can do every day to get towards it? What's, a step by step that's just like the big steps, because you just want people to go, oh, that feels possible. That doesn't feel heavy, and of course then be really intrigued as to how to do those and to how to get the help, and that's where they kind of come to you. So those are the 3 types of posts, guys, but I'm going to give you one extra tip, and this really was the thing that is the difference. I've noticed it when we do this well and when we don't do it quite so well. That's the difference between a post doing hundreds and hundreds of comments or 30, 40 comments. And that is the power of curiosity, of open loops. Because one of the things we were doing, which is a big no-no, is actually inside the captions or even on the posts, we were talking about a problem or an idea or a result and then how to do it. And we were kind of just giving a watered down version of how to do it in everything. So we were sort of answering the question, but not particularly well. We weren't leaving enough space for curiosity. To get people to take action these days, because they're seeing so much stuff, they need to have their interest piqued. They need to have you go, oh, what's that? I don't think I've seen that before. That looks different. Tell me more. And when they have that, when you really can hone in on that curiosity, that is when you get that engagement. That's when you get them to stop and take notice, because this is something new. There's more to this. I need to know it. It's just like a human nature thing. If you sort of start a story, they want to know the end. And I'm not talking about crazy clickbait here, or those stupid videos, and I've been sucked in by them so many times, although this does kind of demonstrate the power of it, where it might be like, did you know this about hotel, light switches or something, and it's a video just zooming in on a light switch, and then nothing happens at all. And you're like, I just spent 60 seconds waiting for something to happen and nothing happened because they made it seem like there was this thing that I had to know and there was actually nothing. And so that's a bad example, but that is how people are using it. And those people are going viral, although they're going viral for all the wrong reasons. But to take that and use that in a more ethical way, in a way that's going to actually appeal to your target market, it's creating this open loop. It's inviting them to take an interest, and then they have to take a step to find out the rest. So, it's like reading the first page of a chapter and then saying, hey, you want to know what happens to this character? Let me know and I'll send you the other pages. But in this case, you're going to send them a PDF or you're going to send them to a training. And that was really a game changer. And we've actually just added into the Insta ATM program this awesome ChatGPT prompt, which helps you to audit any captions or any post you're going to create and make sure the curiosity factor is ramped up, which pretty much guarantees that post is going to do well. I'm so excited about you guys being able to get that. So that is it, guys. That is the 4 steps that, as I said, really, really simple. The only one that takes any time was actually the setting up the 3-stack funnel, and it took a couple of hours. And now our account literally prints money. Anytime we do a post, we make sales. And it's now become one of my favorite things to do. So if you're wanting to turn that all around for yourself as well, as I said, if you're already in one of our programs, guys, go jump in, have a look at Insta ATM, get this installed. If you're not yet, then grab the link below, grab the Insta ATM program. It walks you through it all step by step, including the 3-step funnels, including the 3 types of posts. It's all in there, guys. So I hope this has been useful. I hope this has encouraged you, for anyone who's like, I'm just sick of social. What's the point? There can be a point. You can fix it. You're not broken. You just need to make a couple of tweaks, and then you hopefully can start printing money from your account as well. So that's it, guys. Have a wonderful week. I will see you back here same time next week with more nerdy goodness. See you then.